And hello everyone, welcome to This Day. It is Wednesday, September 11th, also known as Patriots Day. I hope you're remembering the 23 years ago of the terror attacks in Washington, New York, and of course that field where the plane crashed, United plane crashed in Pennsylvania. It's a day to put out the flag, remember those fallen, and think about America and how much you love this country and how much things have changed since then. My goodness, we saw the debates last night. I think we're far flung from the days of everybody hanging their flags and kind of a united front out there. But enough about that. Let's talk about today's show. We got a great one for you. We're going to welcome the Orange County Fire Authority Captain Larry Kurtz. He's going to be talking to us about the airport fire. It has really spread. It's going to more than 20,000 acres now in Lake Elsinore and homes out here. So we're going to talk about that, the origins of it, and more with him. And then later in the program, Concerned Citizens is going to be here. They have an event coming up that they're going to want you to be part of, and we're going to tell you about that and more later in the program. But right now, we got another thing we want to get you out there and get involved. If you have something to say, the folks at United want to hear it from you. United Town Hall is coming up on September 13th, this Friday, 2 p.m. over at the Performing Arts Center in Clubhouse 3, room number 2. Anybody have a concern or a comment they want to make to the board? It's a more informal setting where you can come out there and let them know what's going on in your area, in your residence, on your street, and they will be able to find out and maybe even take some action at the next board meeting. So get out there and make sure your voice is heard. Let's take a look outside at our weather, and we have a special visitor today. We have the marine layer. It's back. Wonderful. Nice cool temperatures. We've missed it for a while with all the 100 degrees and 99-degree temperatures we've had. Look at these temps. What a difference a few days makes. We were talking about 90s and 100s over the weekend. Now we're in the 70s and mid-70s for the rest of the week. Marine layer might stick around for us for a little while longer, but that is going to be basically cool temperatures. And you can see our video of the fire from the airport fire from the other day that's still burning right now. We'll be talking about that in our next segment. Hey, let's take a look at our sunrise and our sunset while we're at it. Sunrise this morning, 6:31. Sunset tonight, 7:01. And we have a beautiful photograph here of the beautiful sky before all the smoke was out there, but this is from Lori Maloa. Thank you for sending that one in, Lori. And if you'd like to send us a picture like Lori did, well, we'd love to see it. Make sure you include your name, where you took the picture, but email us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com, and we will use your photo in the next sunrise sunset segment. Okay, we got a meeting to tell you about. Then when we come back, we'll be talking to the Orange County Fire Authority about the airport fire. Stay with us.
Welcome to the Artistry, South Orange County's only cannabis dispensary located right here in Laguna Woods. The Artistry is your trusted source for the highest quality cannabis products and the best customer service. We offer daily deals up to 50% off on top brands. Whether you're new to cannabis or a seasoned consumer, our friendly and informative staff is here to help you elevate in style. We're located next to Gate 3 and now offer delivery right to your door. Join us for a one-of-a-kind dispensary experience.
Attention all club organizers, party planners, and those who simply love to gather and celebrate life's special moments. Are you tired of the hassle of cooking for your events? Looking for a convenient and delicious solution? Introducing our easy and convenient catering trays, perfect for groups of any size from 35 to 90. Need a larger space to host your event? Look no further than our restaurant's banquet room, the perfect venue for your next gathering. Call us today to place your catering order or reserve our banquet room for your next event. Create memories and traditions with Polly's Pies.
The airport fire is still going on in here in South Orange County, and we want to talk about fire safety, about the fire itself, and a lot of other things. We want to welcome Captain Larry Kurtz from the Orange County Fire Authority to our program. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on board.
So airport fire started on Monday, and we know the area is, why is it called the airport fire?
It's called the airport fire because of the location where it starts. Mm-hmm. Next to the Trubico Canyon, there is a small hobbyist airfield for small remote-controlled aircraft. They operate it, and it's a small runway. It's like an airport in miniature. It even has a small tower, and some people lovingly call it Holy Jim International Airport. And that's where the fire started, so that's the name that stuck with the fire.
And we know what caused it now? It was some worker crews moving boulders around out there?
Yes, there was a crew that was moving large boulders in the area, and some of their heavy equipment unfortunately sparked a fire. It does happen from time to time.
Sure.
The workers that were on scene did the best they could to contain the fire with the fire extinguishers and what they had on hand. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. It expanded quickly to what we're all seeing today out there.
Right. What were the conditions like out there? Was it a little more breezy than a lot of shrubbery?
Well, what we have out in Orange County area is mostly small scrub oak and medium-sized brush. What you have out there as far as weather, obviously we're in the middle of a large heat wave here in Southern California. And we did have some breeze yesterday. They were reporting some breezes were gusting up to almost 20, 25 miles per hour. Plus you have the topography in the area. That's the biggest driver of this fire. And when I say topography, it's the canyon walls.
And the slope of those things that just let the fire just climb like that?
Fire moves almost 13 times faster moving uphill than it does across level ground. So when fire begins getting on a slope, it's going to increase its speed exponentially, so it gets away from people.
Seen some pictures overnight and during the day of some of the fire shots that were out there. What were the crews doing out there? Why were they moving the boulders in the first place, or what kind of work was going on? Do we know?
They were doing some sort of landscaping operation. Unfortunately, I can't speak to exactly what they were doing with the boulders, but we do know that was the cause.
Okay. So what are some of the other factors that we're looking at this time of year in terms of fire and fire risk in these canyons, in these areas?
Well, obviously, Orange County isn't the only place that's having these kinds of fires.
Right, we have 3 major ones going on.
Yes, we do. So this time of year, what we have is we have brush that is cured all summer. And when I mean cured, it's become tinder dry. Plus, you have the addition of the large heat, and you have the canyon walls. And what, fortunately, we haven't had too much of, if we haven't had the Santa Ana wind conditions, which really makes it a challenge for us. But for now, we're just dealing with these things to try and contain this fire, and we do have strategies to contain it.
In the last 2 years, we've had above average rain, which I guess made a bumper crop of new growth out there to burn, right?
Right. Every year that we have weather events, whether you have a lot of rain or a little bit of rain, 2 things happen. Either you have a drought year where whatever is dry out there just gets drier, or if you have, like we've had this year, record amounts of rain, it's great for keeping things very moist, but it also creates a lot of new growth. And all that new growth eventually cures to the point where it becomes dry tinder and creates the brush fires that we have today.
Now, a lot of residents around there were concerned about evacuations the other day, and it was kind of going a little bit wild. Nobody knew which way it was going, but now it looks like a lot of the communities are going to be safe in terms of which way this fire is moving, right?
Well, that is something that is always in flux.
Right.
What we are always concerned about, obviously, life and property are the number one things that we hold in the highest regard. We also have to monitor the perimeter of the fire and control those things. So we have resources in those neighborhoods, protecting those neighborhoods, doing structured defense. But we also have crews out in the hills on the fire fronts actually trying to control the edge of the fire. So you actually have 2 different things that you have to apply your resources to. And we only have limited resources at that.
Right. We have a map of the actual kind of the footprint of the fire thus far. That's, of course, ever changing. But what does that map show? What does it tell us? And obviously, look at that terrain. It is a rugged area.
Right. This is a topographic map that we have of the fire as of this morning. The fire has grown, as you know, to at least 9,000 acres, and we're expecting it to grow even further. At this point, we have 0% containment on the fire. A lot of people don't understand exactly what containment means. When we refer to containment, it means we have a physical fire break around the entire perimeter of the fire. Eventually, we're going to have to go over every square inch of the perimeter of this fire to make sure that it's all out. We can't afford to let one ember get over it. So as you see from the map here, what our strategies are, we're actually trying to prevent the fire from expanding, and we have a combination of dozers that are actually creating fire breaks on top of some of the ridge tops on some of these. So we're going to allow that fire to get to the top of some of those ridges And at the top of those ridges, there are hiking trails that we expand with dozers, and we deny fuel. It's like a natural fire break.
You can't burn sand.
Correct. We also have aircraft that you've seen dropping the fire retardant. Now, this fire retardant doesn't extinguish the fire. It slows the fire down. It buys our crews time.
Okay.
And usually what we're going to do is we're going to have that at the top of the mountain, and we're going to have it on the leeward side of the mountain, the side of the mountain that has not burned yet.
In case an ember jumps over.
In case it jumps over, we have what we call a slop over. We have crews up there to get after it. And so that's what we're doing for pretty much most of the northern half of the fire. What we are concerned with is the southern and the eastern flanks of this fire moving across. If it keeps going, it is possible to encroach upon some neighborhoods. But again, what we have is contingency plans. When we fight these fires, we do a lot of things. We take a look at the past. We look at past fires that have happened in the area. You and I come and go, buildings come and go, but topography of the land pretty much stays the same.
Right.
So what we do is we go back into our history books and we look at what fires were there before, what it did, how it acted, and what we can do is we can predict where the fire is going to be, so we have the right resources in the right places at the right time. So as these fires, if they do start to encroach on these neighborhoods, we're going to be able to flood these neighborhoods with additional resources, additional manpower, additional fire engines to help protect those communities from the fire.
Now, one thing I know you guys happens is that you guys become your own little air traffic control center when these things happen, directing firefighting helicopters, the planes, and also news helicopters are trying to get their shots. So it becomes a kind of a scary place in the air around these things for chance for collisions, right?
Right. It can become a crowded place. One of the first things we do if we have a fire of this magnitude is we instill a TFR called a temporary flight restriction. It restricts people from flying drones. It restricts people from having their own personal aircraft. They go around the fire. So the only things that are in the air are our aircraft in the area. We also have what's called an air attack supervisor. What this person does, they actually orbit the fire in an aircraft of their own, and they're communicating with all the aircraft, not just the firefighting ones, news helicopters too. So we have these patterns, circulating patterns of aircraft that are coming in, aircraft that are going out. So we don't have any mid-air collisions or other catastrophes.
Everybody see on the right highway in the sky out there.
That's right.
Larry Kurtz from the Orange County Fire Authority, thank you so much for coming in, telling us a little about what's going on out there, and helping educate a little bit about what we do and don't do when we're out there in the world.
Thank you so much. And for people that want to get more information about the fire, please check us out on the ocfa.org. If you are looking into places where we might be doing evacuations from, you can check on the Orange County Sheriff's website as well. They'll have that information.
Thank you so much, Larry.
All right.
You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.
Annette, how long has it been since we built your patio room?
A couple, 3 months, I guess.
Yeah. And so how's it working out for you?
It's just working out great. And you did it in such a timely manner, and we just love it out here.
Yeah. And when you gave us this job, I told you we'll do a nice job for you. Did we?
Absolutely. We really, really did it. We couldn't be happier.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Give us a call. We'll do a nice job for you too.
All great healthcare organizations care, but the best dare to reach higher. At Hoag, we lead with life-saving clinical trials and advanced therapies. Our world-renowned specialists innovate with state-of-the-art technologies like virtual reality and robotics. Hoag is the #1 hospital in Orange County 4 years in a row. Now, more than ever, your healthcare choices matter. Choose Hoag.
I think September 11th is a good day to talk about peace, don't you? I hope so. I hope you agree with me on that one. International Peace Day is coming up September 19th, and I want to welcome concerned citizens back to our program. Latifa Taormina.
Yes.
I was so close. And David Deering, thank you for joining us.
Again, thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Latifa, tell us about International Peace Day. Tell us about the whole thing.
Peace Day has started in
it's been a long time with the UN. They give it a theme every year.
Right.
And when it began, way back in 2000, began as on the 21st, 2001, they gave it the theme of the culture of peace, developing a culture of peace, and that's the theme this year.
Okay.
So how do we create a culture of peace?
Okay.
And David has it in 4 words.
Oh, you have it in 4 words? Let's hear it.
Oh, well, a culture of peace is sometimes not easy to define, but we have civility, community, cooperation, and communication. Okay.
Those sound like great starting places.
If we could work those into our culture, I think we would be able to achieve peace.
Yes.
And so you got those themes of civility, community, cooperation. What was the other one? I missed one already.
Civility, community, cooperation.
Oh yeah, there we go. And so how did it get started here in Laguna Woods Village?
Oh, well, I'm the guilty one, I suppose.
Point the finger over here.
Yeah. I had been involved in doing Peace Day work in Austin, Texas, before I moved here. And it grew into a community-wide event called Peace Day Austin that involved hundreds of organizations, everything. And they, concerned citizens, hosted a talk shortly after I'd gotten here on peace building. So I went to the talk. I thought, oh, maybe they're interested in doing something on peace. So afterwards, I talked to Pat Nelson, who was the host of that particular evening. And so she invited me to come and talk to the rest of the group at Margaret Perlman's house.
Okay.
And Margaret was alive with that. And Margaret was an artist, and she had this wonderful stuffed person that she had made. Sitting there, I'm talking, and there's this stuffed person on a rocking chair. Anyway,
like a little bit of Norman and Psycho.
Yeah, so she delighted me, and she was positive about it. So I said to her, well, if your organization is hosting Peace Day, what to you has to be key to anything we might do about Peace Day? And she said, the Declaration of Human Rights, Eleanor Roosevelt's
That's a great place to
preamble
start.
for that. And of course, so I looked that up, and that was a feature of our first program, and David was in our first program, and he read that preamble to the Declaration of Human Rights.
Right, the freedom from hunger, freedom from...
It's that we need, the key one was the rights of people.
Okay, yeah.
But the key one to me was dignity, that we must respect the dignity and rights of everybody. And I feel like that's what people really want. It's not like my right to vote, my right to this. It's that I'm a person, that I'm worth something. That's what is key. Yeah. And so that touched me, that was important for Margaret. And that's always been central to everything that we've done, is to try to make people feel good about themselves, because if they can't feel good about themselves, they certainly can't help anyone else feel good about themselves. And so kindness was a big feature of the first Peace Day that we did.
Right, and now you guys have invited a lot of clubs to this. It's not just you putting on the show, right, David?
Right.
Multiple clubs are involved in the Peace Day and all the themes around it.
Exactly. I'm a big believer in DEI, okay? And so when I started putting this thing together, I wanted to include a lot of people from a lot of different walks of life, a lot of different clubs, race, gender. I wanted a mix, okay? And so we have several clubs, obviously Concerned Citizens, the African American Club, the College Club, Thrive is joining us. Community Bridge Builders, of course, a very new organization in our community, which is trying hard to bridge some of these differences that we have. And so I have about almost 15 speakers, 14 speakers, okay, with some music in between, and going to be a good day.
It's going to be a good day. Sounds like it. So it's almost like a kind of a potpourri of international in terms of the representation of the clubs in there, right? You have a little bit of everybody.
Exactly. And we have a little bit of an art show. We have afterwards a wine and cheese mingle. Okay, so people can stay after and have a little wine and cheese. And of course, it's free, all right?
Are there going to be opportunities, you have music, but there are opportunities for folks to just kind of do a sing-alongs as well?
We are having, glad you asked. Glad you asked. We are having a sing-along to close the event, okay? And of course, what the world needs now is love, sweet love.
There you go,
okay?
that's a good one.
And people will know at least the chorus to that.
Sure.
We want to end this on an upbeat note.
Absolutely. When you think of where you started with Peace Day and where it is now, how have you seen it evolve and grow, and what kind of impact do you think it's maybe made here?
Well, I think it's become an institution here, and it's become something that Laguna Woods has its own way of doing it, which is important. I mean, you can't have peace if you're pretending to be somebody else. You have to start with who you are and valuing others for whom they are, you know. So I think that's what has happened. And I think it's become something that belongs to Laguna Woods. It's got its own way of doing this, and I think that's key. You know, you can't be somebody else.
And is that one of the challenges? I mean, and I'm not trying to sound negative here, but some, people in their 55 and older community have their mindsets around things sometimes. So what happens when they were exposed to something? Do you feel like you make progress, or people are open to ideas and like, I never thought of it this way? Is there kind of an evolution of change in their minds?
I think for some people it is. I mean, it's never 100%.
Sure.
But certainly it's been very, very involved. People like it. People come. I think last year we had a big hit, and so last year was the first time we did a program followed by this sort of meet and greet, wonderful time together, and that made all the difference in the world. And so everybody loved that. So that made everybody a part of it instead of just a spectator. They own, it's theirs.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So maybe tell me a little about the music, because I think music is one thing that people of all races, mix and opinions about the world can come together on and enjoy, right?
I believe that music is a universal language, okay, whether the lyrics are in English or not. The music certainly is universal. And we're very fortunate this year to have Mark Hochberg play beginning at 2:30 as the people walk in. And we are bringing in the Feisty Women, a group of which Sharon Rosen, who is our music director this year.
She's a feisty woman.
She's a feisty woman. And by comparison, maybe not so much among the other women in that group, okay? So we're looking forward to having them. We have Moki Lund. Many people in the village are familiar with Moki Lund, who just the night before last helped us celebrate the 60th anniversary of Laguna Woods over at Clubhouse 2. The Woods Combo played there, and Moki's the featured singer there. So she will be joining us. So again, we have a wide variety of talent, including music. And we also have some people from both theater groups, from the old pros and from the Theater Guild.
Yeah. And then the wine and cheese mingle is kind of one of those things where everybody kind of get together and have that shared experience at the end, right? Towards the end?
Yes, and that's the whole point.
Right, and just kind of get in there and have those conversations happen.
So you're not just watching somebody else talk about what you should do or be or how you should be, but you're part of it. You become part of the family of peacemakers.
Well, fantastic.
And we want the people who are in our audience to have an opportunity to talk to our speakers. And it's not just all one speech after another. We have some poems, stories.
Right.
A lot of these pieces are written by the people who are presenting them. So looking forward to that.
Looking forward to
mix.
it. It's going to be International Day of Peace, Thursday, September 19th, right here at Clubhouse 7, 3 p.m. They've got readings, music, stories, songs, and more. There's going to be a cheese mingle and wine.
Yes.
I love that part. So make sure you get out there at 3 p.m. David and Latifah, thank you so much for joining us
Oh,
today.
you're welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks a lot. We're going to be right back with the movie previews for the weekend. Stay with us.
Caring Senior Service provides a variety of care services to help seniors age in place. We cook, we clean, we listen, we help, we care. And that's why we create customized care plans to enable every senior to maintain their independence. To learn more about how we can help your family, contact us today.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life, you live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence, we see the life in you.
Go beyond better hearing with artificial intelligence. At Advanced Ear Care, we've taken regular hearing care to a new level with artificial intelligence performance. This provides smarter, clearer balance of sound. Artificial intelligence identifies background noises and reduces them so you can hear the soft-spoken speech clearly. Don't be afraid of this technology. It works automatically. Put them on and hear better all day in all situations. Hear the conversations clearly with family, friends, and caregivers. And remember, tell them Stuart sent you.
And welcome back, everybody. We got some great movies for this weekend. Let's take a start with the Friday movie, and it's going to be a good one. It's If It's Tuesday, It Must Be Belgium. That stars Suzanne Plachette, and it's brought to us by Pacific Financial Planners. It's going to be on 2 p.m. with the subtitles and 6 p.m. without the subtitles. And when a tour bus driver plans to save his daughter from her captors, a Belgian circus performer, the Americans on his European tour bus lend a helping hand. So that's going to be on Friday, 2 p.m. and 6 p.m., brought to us by Pacific Financial Planners. And then on Saturday, it's The Wolf of Wall Street, an amazingly crazy film. If you like rated R movies, this is a good one. It's The Wolf of Wall Street, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. It's brought to us by RadNet. It's going to be at 2 p.m. with the subtitles, 6 p.m. without the subtitles. It is based on the true story of Jordan Belfort, from his rise to a wealthy stockbroker living in the high life to his fall involving crime, corruption, and the federal government. So it is a action-packed movie. It's kind of a dark comedy, and hopefully you enjoy that one on Saturday at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Let's take a look outside at our weather before we head out, and we have great marine layer. I hope this is helping in terms of the fire over there for the airport fire out in the Saddleback Mountain and Trabuco Canyon, Lake Elsinore area. And they're hoping it's going to help them knock that down with low winds, good kind of moisture in the air, and some low temperatures for them. For us, it's going to be 77 here today, and then we get basically into the mid-70s for the rest of the week. We're expecting the marine layer to kind of be with us Thursday, Friday, all the rest of the week as well, but we don't always have it in there every day, depending on when it burns off. But that's going to be our week. Going to be wonderful temperatures out there, so get out there and enjoy the day if you can. We have a little bit of air quality issue today, but that's about it. Hopefully it's going to clear out as well. Tomorrow on the program, Golden Rain Foundation update with them, and the Democratic Club's going to be with us, so stay tuned for that. I'm Michael Taylor. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.